Welcome to Dance to Heal. I'm your host, Jenny C. Cohen. Join me as I share stories of how dance and movement can bring healing in a way that is safe and tailored to your life. I'm a cancer survivor, mother of two, and an award-winning performer who found that movement was vital to my recovery. I created Dance to Heal Wellness and also authored the best-selling book, Outside in Recovery, Dancing My Way Back to Myself After Breast Cancer. I will bring new techniques to help you on your dance journey and healing path. Are you ready to move? Dance to Heal starts now. There's been a movement towards people being much more connected with their bodies. It's now understood by science that there is a secondary brain in your heart and your gut, that your body is this extremely efficient system between brain and the body, mind and matter, that is communicating back and forth about the status of how you are physically doing. Do you regularly check in with your body? So if you're working out, are you taking time to ask your body, am I getting enough rest? Is my hydration enough? Do you have a system of communication with your body where you're listening when it asks you for things? How often do you ignore what your body needs in order to push through something that you in your mind thinks you have to do? Barring an emergency situation, you're about to get hit by an ongoing bus. You're walking on a dark alley and you perceive danger. That's if you were present enough to perceive danger. Barring life-threatening situations, are you tuning into your body every day to listen to its needs so that in this living for longevity relationship, you are maximizing your health? I want to propose some techniques so you can increase the communication between your mind and your body. Here we go. Number one, muscle testing. Those of you who know about it, you may have heard about how you can do muscle testing with food products. Example, if you're standing and you want to know if you're allergic to something or a food ingredient is for your higher health and your greater good, you might hold it to your body. And if you fall towards it, that means that yes, the answer is yes, you can have it. If you fall away from it, it may be something, or it is something that your body is intuitively rejecting, like meat, sugar. I like to teach my clients a muscle testing where they use their own body. So I'm going to show you what I do. This is my non-dominant hand, my left. You may be seeing it has your right side, but this is my left side, and you're welcome to do this exercise with me. When I'm holding my hand like this with the elbow and shoulder even and my wrist a little bit lower, my palm is facing me, this left hand is making a light fist. I'm going to gently push against the middle knuckle, and as I'm pushing with the right hand, my left arm is resisting the push down of this finger. I'm going to test for my yeses. I am Jenny C. Cohen, and I'm going to push lightly on this finger, and it shouldn't move. It should be pretty strong. Yes, I'm Jenny C. Cohen. Let's say I really want to be Nicole Kidman. I am Nicole Kidman. And in spite of how hard I resist, this finger will bend very easily at the big knuckle. My body is telling me you are not Nicole Kidman. You like to think you're Nicole Kidman, but you are not. My eyes are brown. My body agrees. Yes, your eyes are brown. I've always wanted to have green eyes or purple eyes, so I'm going to say I have green eyes, and my body will disagree. You see that? Those of you listening on the audio podcast, every time I pushed down on my finger when it was a lie, my body told me it knew it was a lie. For example, when I said I was Nicole Kidman, and also when I said my eyes were green. In this way, if you do the same test for yourself, where you find what your yes and your no's are, then you can go ahead and ask yourself some straightforward questions. For example, do this with me. So I'm holding my arm up now. We're going to ask this question. Everybody push down your finger and you're going to get a yes or no answer. Okay? I am sleeping enough. in my body. I know I'm not sleeping enough. I've been taking care of some foster kittens, and I drew the short straw of that 6 a.m. feeding. And my daughter, unfortunately, stays up late to do the late dinner feeding. So these kittens, they can't go longer than 6 hours without food. So we're always constantly shifting our schedule so they're eating during the evening no later than a 5 to 6 hour span. Of course, during the day, they eat sooner than later. All right, so let's see. Am I getting enough sleep? So my body, I agree. My body concurred. I'm not getting enough sleep. I am hydrating enough. I'm drinking enough liquids and hydrating enough. And my finger says yes. Oh, this is great. See, Jenny, I have been making a concerted effort to hydrate enough. Now, on your own, you will need to do the muscle testing to test what kind of hydration your body needs. Me, myself, and I, we have come upon the fact that I mostly only drink warm water and also a mixture of either a large, big liter bottle full of water that has liquid IV and also a pack, the Pedialyte. Both of them are the powdered version that you can get in packets, and both of them are also sugar-free. Okay, so in that way, I've been hydrating in my body. Yeah. What's another question I can ask? I am eating enough every day. And my finger says, yes, you're eating enough. Can I eat a little bit more? And my body says no. So some clarification, I am now 56 and my body chemistry has shifted a lot because I've gone into menopause since I started chemotherapy back when I was 45. So has my body has shifted into a menopausal type of body, my food needs have shifted, I've noticed. Okay, so you can also make a list of questions and ask your body that the same thing, yes or no. Okay, second way of being in touch, mind and body. I often work with my clients around the knowledge base that we've discovered. And everyone who studies biology, I studied biology when I was going through my occupational therapy, my master's degree at Boston University Surgeon College. And it was widely understood, even though we know a lot about the brain, we've only really understand about 10 to 15% of the brain, right? So we have so much knowledge, even more data coming out. And even still, we're only cracking about, I'm being, I think, generous when I say 15%. That we understand 15% of how the human brain works. There's still a huge proponent, an aspect of the brain we don't know. Okay, so one of the ways that the field of neurolinguistic programming, some people think it's very, very woo-woo, and that's okay if you feel so. I want you to also understand that the field of NLP actually arose from the scientific field of kinesiology, which understands that the body has knowledge. Okay, so science has proven that the body has knowledge and the body carries memories, especially even genetic memories in our DNA that's passed down from generation to generation. So I hope you can understand what I'm referring to regarding that. So in terms of the conscious and the subconscious, there is a correlation between that and that uncharted other 85% of the brain. When we're speaking to our subconscious, there is an understanding that even now, the part of you that's conscious and listening to this message, this show with me, and the part of me that's here consciously recording it to you, this part of us is only 15-20% of our conscious. There's another 85% of us. Honestly, 90%. We're only 10% conscious. Subconscious is 90% of us in the background, categorizing the hundreds and thousands of bits of information happening to us at every single second, and putting into organized systems to help us survive and stay safe. These systems, a lot of it was formed when we were children. Okay, and so at the same time, our mind is incredibly incredibly powerful. It also is limited in that until you're aware, you may have subconscious programming that's running the show. It will keep you locked in behaviors that will not be the best for your body. All right. So why am I going this whole long explanation? I want to give you a journaling technique that was introduced by my therapist, and often there is an actual theory or school that's affiliated with it. Soul cards, you can look that up in on Amazon. They sell these amazing art activities that you do, and then you do a journaling exercise. And I've taken that portion of the journaling exercise and I've given it to my clients, and it's been wildly successful for them to speak to their subconscious through the journaling. Okay. So if you are right hand dominant, you would ask a question in your right hand. And then to speak to yourself, your most strongest, powerful self, your subconscious, you would put that pen in your left hand and answer your question. For example, if I wanted to know about a program, I would write a question such as, is this program for my highest and best good for me to enroll in this program now? Take the pen and put in my left hand because I'm right hand dominant, and I would answer with my left hand. And my left hand, I would let it just free form, write whatever answers it wants to. Granted, the writing is really messy when you first start this endeavor. Over time, it does become very, very clear. As that non-dominant hand gets more and more comfortable, it's as if as your subconscious understands you're listening more and more, the legibility usually will increase. And the feedback in this exercise for my clients, even my children, it's really been quite incredible, the depth of insight a person will receive when they ask themselves this question. So similar to the artist's way, where people will freestyle journal, it's usually with their dominant hand. I'm asking you to flip back and forth between your dominant hand and your non-dominant hand to speak to your conscious and your subconscious, unconscious self. Yes, I really love this second method I'm discussing with you. The only caveat, I think, is to be aware which hand you're really dominant in. Some of us are ambidextrous, and you may have to do the muscle testing from the first exercise to figure out which hand should be your dominant hand and which hand should be your non-dominant hand to speak to your subconscious. And there's one last thing I want you to be aware of. So I am 56 years young at the time of this recording. My dream, right, is that this series becomes so popular that there'll be years later and this will still be pertinent to you. When I was born, 1968, in Taipei, Taiwan, back in those days, it was extremely bad luck for a child to be left-handed, naturally left-handed. So because it was not good luck for me to be left-handed, I was forced to be right-handed. That caused quite some confusion. I know that it was to eventually bring me to where I am now, where I can be ambidextrous in certain things. Just be aware that if you had that type of childhood, even if you don't remember it, you may want to do a muscle test with your body. Am I naturally left-handed? Am I naturally right-handed? Am I ambidextrous? Ask your body those questions to see. Yeah, let me show it to you right now. So my listening audience, I'm going to do that muscle test from the first exercise, and I'm going to ask myself, am I naturally left-handed? Oh, the answer was yes. I pushed on here. Am I naturally right-handed? And the answer is no. What? So crazy. Am I ambidextrous? Oh, and the answer is yes. So that's really interesting. So basically, I was naturally left-handed. I have been trained to be right-handed, and I'm actually quite capable of being ambidextrous, being both-handed. Is this something that I need to explore more about? And the answer is yes. So my body wants me to explore more about that. Isn't that interesting? So I really encourage you to try the same thing with yourself and ask some of these questions. All right, exercise number 3, super important. So this is an exercise I often talk about on social media and in my talks when I'm on stage, and I'm going to review it with you now. When we are not present in our bodies, we are actually at risk of being in danger. Let me repeat that. When you are not present in your body, you can miss signs of when you need to be aware to keep yourself out of danger. Now, being very careful of any possible unconscious programming that I may be giving you, right? You are completely safe. And there is definitely a correlation because I do speak on college students who are under risk of sexual assault on campuses. When they interviewed convicted felons who were actually serving time, when they asked them, what are the factors you look on to determine who's going to be one of your next victims? They cited two things amongst a list of things, and they're very pertinent to this conversation. One, they said, we look to see if the person was aware of their surroundings. Let that sink in for a second. Yeah. Two, they watch their body language. So when I say body language, I'm saying, are you even aware of how you're holding your body right now? Are you aware of what's happening outside of your immediate mind focus? Those two factors are danger. And I am bold enough to say, forget about danger around you. I'm talking about danger inside of you. Meaning, again, science has proven we are constantly, our immune system is taking care of cells that are mutating every single day because our cells are multiplying. And so the probability of mutating cells happening every day in your body is pretty high, most likely because our cells are always renewing themselves, right? So that means if your immune system is affected, that can cause something later on, like an autoimmune disease, or in my case, cancer. Folks, here's a secret I want to, well, not secret, but here's a really important factor I want to share with you about my breast cancer journey, which is so pertinent to this month, right? I had no history of breast cancer in my family. Nothing. Nada. There was a history on my father's side of my paternal grandmother having had cancer. It was not breast cancer, and she was much older when she got it. I was only 44 when I found that lump, right? And the 6 months before it, I'm sorry, the almost 1 year before it, I had been working out consistently every morning. I had joined a gym. I was meeting with a group of people at 5 a.m. every morning to work out. I was completely vegan. I was at the strongest I had really ever been. And I was also, I think before I had my twins weight. My kids were roughly 10, 12. So it had been years since I was that good in shape, right? And the only factor that I knew for certain that contributed to my getting cancer, that's my belief. I'm not saying this for anyone else, just for me, because I did so much research trying to figure out why did I get cancer. One of the factors was that I had been under so much stress. You wouldn't have known it because I was good at hiding it so well that I didn't even admit that it was taking a toll on my body. The month before I got my breast cancer, my husband had emergency bowel obstruction surgery from his cancer 19 years before that, when we were newlyweds. Okay? And then the 4 years before that, one of my children, my fraternal twins from in vitro fertilization, who are my miracles from God, my miracles, my gifts from the heavens. My son was diagnosed at 10 with type 1 diabetes. And that was another episode I'll discuss. However, the point of it is that this precious miracle is now saddled with this disease where 1 in 9 people never make it to adulthood. Okay? So literally every night, my husband and I took turns. We took shifts. I would go to bed about 2 or 3 every night, and he would get up around 4 normally for work day, so that we could make sure that if our son hit a low blood sugar in his sleep, he would at least have enough wherewithal to wake up again to take something that had sugar in it to boost the blood sugar back up. And because he was also an elite athlete at the time, and he had rebound lows. This stress tipped my own immune system over. So when something mutated, I just couldn't, I didn't even see any of the signs. And I ended up having triple positive breast cancer. Right. And then in the recovery process, I realized that I actually hadn't really been in my body all my life. Those questions I asked you before about am I getting enough sleep? Am I drinking enough? Am I hydrated? These kind of things I never asked myself before, ever. So it had been years and years of abusing it, ignoring my body. It is cumulative. It is cumulative. Okay? And then I recovered from my breast cancer and also my other child went into distress. And I realized I had to be present to keep my child safe, both of my children safe and myself safe. I traced back to all of my life, unresolved trauma. Again, using a lot of my subconscious to help me heal those parts. Okay? Why did I go off into this whole thing? Listen, being present means this outside of your body mastery so that you can focus on the inside and then go back and forth, outside to inside, the outside, the inside. Hence why I have a program now called Outside in Mastery. Okay? How can you do this? Again, similar to 1 and 2, both of them are free. You ready? All you gotta do is tune into your 5 senses, breath work, and move. If you do this every day, it will increase the communication between your mind and your body. So let's try this. And then I promise I'll let you go, at least until next week. Here we go. Tune into your sense of smell. And now listen, if you are having difficulty smelling anything, like I always have a handy dandy cup of Earl Grey tea, which my YouTube video, people get to see my cool mug. I'm going to show you the peekaboo fish in there. Yeah, you have to go to the YouTube video for this. I'm going to take a sip. Taste and smell. That's your 2 senses. Sense number 3, hearing. You're going to hear my voice and also tune into the sounds in your surroundings. 4, your sense of touch or what's touching your feet. If you're seated, is your butt cheeks in your seat. The feeling of your clothing on your body. The feeling of letting your clothing feel you. The glasses on your face if you wear them. Beautiful. And the last thing is going to be vision. Now here's the thing. We often will shut down all of our other senses to just focus on vision. How do I know? Because you're watching this video. Or you're watching this video. You're watching this video either on your computer or your phone. Right, we're very visually stimulated. It's easy. So in terms of just doing this direct gaze, you're going to tune into your peripheral vision, meaning your eye gaze is going to be forward and slightly up and very soft. So we're not up in the ceiling like the rolling up to the ball of your head. You just, wherever your eye gaze is front, you're going to lift it up a couple of inches and then you're going to periphery. Meaning without your eyes opening, you're going to see everything to the sides. Like wiggle your fingers around. And you should be able to see it completely, not in the screen, but all the way around. Like I can see it all the way, and then open it as if you can see all the way behind to your back. Smell, taste, hearing, sensation, vision. Inhale for me. Exhale. Feel again. Smell, taste, hearing. La 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 la. Oh goodness, you got to hear me sing. Feeling of your feet on the floor, in your seat. Vision, peripheral vision. Inhale. 1, 2, 3. And exhale. 4, 3, 2, 1. Beautiful. Come back to me. Do you feel pretty centered? Yeah? All right. So these 3 techniques are going to be ways for you to continue keeping your mind and body connected so that you are in communication with your body. And you're going to remember to go and get your mammogram checks if you're eligible for that, okay? And also do your monthly palpations of your breast tissue, yeah? And you next week we're going to go into kind of like the process of what I recommend you do should you start to feel any nerves about the actual going to get a mammogram. I'm going to give you all some tidbits, okay? Don't delay to make that appointment. Do it now so that next week you can start getting ready for it. All right? All right. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Thanks for listening to Dance to Heal with Jenny C. Cohen. Come back next time to hear stories of recovery through movement and learn more ways that you can move your body. To work with me and continue your journey, visit OutsideInRecovery.com. Are you ready to move?